Let's explore how PPC is going to help get more eyes on your business in an AI search world. And we're going to look at some principles for creating great ads, both with and without AI's help. Tons of examples, loads of lessons, let's go. First off, with this sort of generative AI search experience, it's possible that some websites will see fairly significant organic traffic drops, particularly for commercial searches where the generative AI answers the searcher's question directly in the search results. And it's possible that this loss of informational traffic may happen across organic search as well as paid search. One possible outcome of all of this is that more businesses start pushing into paid search in order to bring that traffic onto their site. The kicker, of course, is that if lots of people do this, paid search then becomes way more competitive. On top of this, with Google and Microsoft both experimenting with AI-generated search ads, the barrier to entry for businesses using pay-per-click in search is going to drop. This could mean that pay-per-click becomes more competitive, making it more important than ever that your ads are sickeningly good. Of course, to produce sickeningly good pay-per-click ads, it's unlikely that you're going to be relying purely on generative AI to write your ad copy, but we'll come back to that a little bit later on. Now, Google is showing ads alongside generative AI search results. Here we can see a search for good bikes for hilly commute, and then we've got these shopping ads underneath. And we see this across a range of searches that bring up generative AI answers. We also see ads in the same way that we're used to seeing them on Google. So we don't expect the way that Google treats ads to change that much, but we do expect the way that users interact with ads to change. Microsoft has begun testing ads in their generative AI answers as well, including adding sponsored citation. The early feedback from Microsoft on the click-through rate and performance of ads in generative search is that actually the click-through rate has increased compared to old being without this generative AI component. So that is very encouraging for marketers and indicating that for some searches at least, we may actually be getting more traffic from generative AI than we were previously. But there's also been a lot of focus on display advertising and some of the AI tools that Google will be bringing to display advertisers. Again, we expect the user experience to be basically the same, where advertisers can use Google's ad platform to run their display ads across the Google Display Network. And this will continue to be an important marketing channel for businesses that want to run remarketing ads to target people who've already been on their website or who want to get a lot of visibility across the web very quickly. For example, e-commerce brand Temu has been going hardcore with their display ads as they bring their product to market in the US. We can see how their weekly display ad spend has gone from around $400K up to $5.3 million per week. And as a result, they are everywhere. Open a website, Temu ad, open an app, Temu ad. It's not remarketing, they've just bought all of the ad inventory on the internet. Now, of course, not every brand can do this. Temu has huge financial backing, they have a very wide product range with very broad appeal, and they're going to market in a very aggressive way. But that approach doesn't work for everyone. So what do you do if you need to be a little bit more surgical in your ad targeting? And in particular, how do you create the best ads possible using PPC best practice to get the most clicks for your budget? And by the way, if you want us to have a look at the ads that you're already running and the PPC strategies that you're already using, we have a free service that will take a look at exactly what you've got going on at the moment, have a look at your goals, and suggest ways that you can improve the performance of your ad campaigns. Just go to exposure.ninja.com/review to request a free website and marketing review. One of the team will be in touch to arrange your PPC review. And if relevant, then we can ask you for temporary access to your PPC accounts so that we can audit what's going on there and give you some pointers on how to improve the performance. This service is completely free, so go to exposure.ninja.com/review to request your free review today. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the use of generative AI to make ads, and both Meta and Google are rolling out tools that allow advertisers to use generative AI to make their creative. Well, it's easier than ever to create ads. It's not easier than ever to create great ads. After all, think about it. Pay-per-click is a market economy. If every advertiser has access to generative AI tools that make their ad images look better or create headlines and copy, that doesn't necessarily mean that every advertiser is going to be getting more clicks. Remember, the number of clicks that your ads get is relative to the quality of your ads versus competitors. If everyone has the same tools and is producing the same ads, nobody's click-through rate is actually going to go up at all. Of course, if the ads that you've been producing so far are way below average, these generative AI tools will at least bring you up to that average level. But if you really want to win in the future of PPC, you need to be creating the best ads imaginable. So how do you do that? Now I'm going to give you some suggestions from our team. The last one's going to blow your mind. Firstly, obviously, start with competitor research. You need to know what you're going up against and what your potential customers are used to seeing from businesses in your space. For search ads, just search for your target keyword and see what comes up. What are the headlines that these ads are using? What's the body copy? What's the call to action? What are the USPs? What are the things that make you want to click on that ad rather than that ad? What are the extensions these ads are using? And go through to the landing page. What does that look like? What does it do? What is it encouraging the visitor to do? And how compelling is it? This search for business tech support returned an ad that highlighted that the business is local and partnered with over 100 local businesses. It also touches on some great common pain points. Stressed, frustrated, just want technology that works. And importantly, the headline includes that the business offers fast and friendly IT support. This ad also links off to 4 different landing pages depending on your needs, including business IT support, IT security, and more, meaning users can more quickly get to the relevant page for them. This shortens their journey and makes the path to conversion much quicker than if they're having to hunt around on your website for the page that's most relevant. Okay, what about shopping ads? Well, if shopping ads are being triggered by the target searches that you're running, look at the product imagery first. Sometimes doing something different to stand out can be a great thing. But there are times in digital marketing where actually trying to stand out and being too different doesn't really work, and shopping imagery is one of those. When you search for something like this, best trainers for kids, you expect to see the side profile of the trainers. You're not looking for a trendy close-up of the laces or to see a kid happily running off in the distance. That's not what users are looking for in these shopping ads. If you're analyzing your competitors' display or social ads, of course, you can spend time on those platforms and keep an eye out for the sort of ads that you're seeing. But there are also a couple of really nifty tools, which I'll show you in a minute, that you can use for competitor ad research on display and social. When we're analyzing a competitor's display or social ads, we want to have a look at the text and imagery or video that's being used. For example, is the ad focused on a particular product or service? Does the ad take people straight through to a particular promotion? Or is it more brand focused? Is there a lead magnet that requires a lower commitment level than maybe the core purchase that they're really aiming for? For example, here's an ad on LinkedIn promoting the Earthshock price on YouTube. This ad takes you directly to the Earthshock YouTube channel. Another ad I spotted was a Facebook ad for Pella phone cases that promotes their retro shapes collection. This is obviously a very image-driven product, so the ads are exactly what we'd expect. They lead with the images of the product. Clicking on this ad takes me to the retro shapes product page, which is much better than, say, driving someone straight to the homepage and leaving them to hunt for that cool product that they've just seen in the ad. But rather than doing this manually, by far the best way to analyze competitors' display and social ads is with a couple of nifty tools. Firstly, the Meta ad library, which you'll probably be familiar with. This allows you to see the ads that any company is running across Facebook, Instagram, Facebook's audience network, and inside Messenger. For example, here I am looking at the Temu ads on Facebook and Insta, and I can see all the creative, I can see the copy, and I can also see how long these ads have been running. And that's really important because if an ad has been running for a long time, then usually that means that it's performing reasonably well. So if we're going to take influence from some of our competitors' ad creative, we want to make sure we're copying the stuff that actually works. But when it comes to analyzing competitors' display ads, there is a fantastic tool inside SEMrush called AdClarity, and it can also give you data on how much your competitors are spending on Facebook and Instagram as well. Now, I'm not going to go into this too much. We have another video talking about how amazing this thing is, but you can get a free trial of this at exposure.ninja/WTF. It's that good. Now, spending some good quality time digging through your competitors' ads, analyzing what are they promoting, how are they promoting it, what's the language and the methods that they're using in their ad creative can be really useful to help you identify the themes that they are finding to be most successful. So let's say, for example, that we were running some ads for an accounting software. Well, we might want to look at a competitor like Xero to understand how are they getting clients and which of their potential target audiences are they going after. Now, we can see here that they've got some ads that have been running for over 6 months now, and we can see the angles that they've been taking with this. And by looking at the creative, we can identify they're targeting a smaller business audience here. Now, if we look down here, we can see they've also run some ads for their partner program. Some of these are still running, some of them aren't. And we can compare the ones that are active against the ones that are inactive to work out what made the difference here. We can then apply those learnings to our own ad creative. Now, it's important to remember that no competitor has perfect ads. So what we don't want to do is just copy what they're already doing. What we're really looking for is the lessons and the tweaks that they're making over time. And of course, your ads need to embody your brand. They need to use your USPs and your understanding of your target audience. Okay, so let's talk about creating your ads, and in particular, the text and the images that you're going to be using. Now, whether you're just running search ads or whether you're running display ads that are going to have a component of text in, we need to make sure this text is succinct and to the point. Does it highlight what makes you different? Is it tantalizing enough to get someone to click on it? Now, notice how this ad for meal delivery kit Gusto, targeting the keyword on Google, food subscription, doesn't actually talk about what Gusto offers. Instead, they go straight for the jugular with a massive offer. Now, if I'm competing against this, I need to make sure I understand, is that because the audience for this search knows Gusto well enough that they don't need to introduce the brand? Or is this a potential mistake? Or does it show me that unless I'm leading with some massive discount, I'm not going to be able to afford to compete for this type of search? Often the best ads include real clear benefits and differentiators. So things like the reasons that make you unique. Maybe you have award-winning customer service, a great warranty, free shipping and returns. Maybe your product or packaging is made from sustainable materials. Are you endorsed by a celebrity, or do you have other credibility and social proof? You don't have to include all of this in every ad, obviously, but if you know your customer well and you've spent some time talking to them, then you can include the pieces of all of that which are going to resonate most with them. And by the way, there's a video in the description which helps you identify and target your perfect customer. We also need to make sure that your calls to action, your CTAs, are clear. Does the reader or searcher know where they're going to be going when they click on that ad? So let's look at some examples of great ad copy. This ad for a staff training platform includes credibility in the headline, the #1 employee training platform, and highlights a USP that you can easily track the employee training. The description is clear and succinct. Doesn't rely on long sentences. It communicates exactly what this is about in just a few words. You can see the benefits, and you know that when you're clicking on this ad, you're going to get a demo today. And importantly, when you go through to the landing page, you see that that is exactly what you're being offered. A free demo. Of course, you'll want to test different types of ad copy, different approaches, different USPs, and different CTAs. Ad copy is never finished and it's never perfect, although we do try. Okay, so we've got the text sorted. But if we're going after display and social ads, we're gonna need to think about visuals. Now, our advice is here that even if you see a competitor ad that you really like, don't just copy it or even just copy the style of it, because your audience may already be fatigued from that ad. If your ads just look like another one of theirs and they've already saturated that market with those ads, sad times. So it's much better to look at the different elements of an image or a video and think about how you can take inspiration from each of these. One great thing that you can do as a marketer is, as you're around on the internet seeing different types of ads and looking at competitors, you can start to build your own swipe file. These can just simply be the screenshots of the different ads that you like the most. That means when it comes time to brief your agency or make some ads yourself, you already have all of that inspiration stored in one place. Now, on social media, organic or user-generated content style images tend to work better. We all have this involuntary ad filter, so that as soon as we see something that doesn't look like what we went on that social app for, we kind of scroll past it assuming that it's an ad. But user-generated content style ads like this one can be really good. Now, this is not a professionally taken picture. This looks like it was taken in someone's garden or a park. In fact, the only giveaway that this is an ad at all is the sponsored word or the Shop Now CTA. But of course, you only see those things once the image has stopped your scroll. So what about using AI tools to create your ads? Well, this type of product image ad actually isn't the sort of thing that you'd necessarily use AI to create. Firstly, it's not the type of thing that the AI is particularly good at. And secondly, because it's so easy to create, you actually don't really need to go to AI to produce this. But of course, there are times when AI can be a fantastic companion in producing ad copy. For example, brainstorming using ChatGPT to test different angles and have it produce different ideas that you can then sift through and find some that you really like. And AI image and video tools can be great at adding the final touches to your content. But it's important here not to just use them for the sake of it because you have access. Just because you can create 1,000 different creatives Does that really mean that you should? Would you not be better focusing on your target customer, understanding them deeply and creating something which is really going to resonate with them? And are people really going to buy your product just because you've changed the background to a cityscape or a beach? Or is it actually more likely that they're going to buy your product because you've sold them on the results or a lifestyle? And actually, in the same way that people scroll past ads that look a bit addy, we're anticipating that there will become a sort of AI ad creative fatigue where people scroll past ads that look a bit AI-y. And you already get this with generative AI copy. Often when you read a generative AI produced ad or blog or any sort of content, it just feels a little bit generic. It can often be a lot of words that don't really say anything. Now, keep in mind that consumers more than ever want authenticity. So if you're publishing ad creative, either written or visual, which feels generic or feels AI-y, that's not generally what consumers are looking for. Okay, AI ramble aside, let's get into the final PPC step. Testing your ads. Of course, you're going to be testing different ads on different platforms. You're going to be testing different USPs. You're going to test different creative ideas. And the reason this is the final step rather than the final step is that you never really stop testing. And of course, once you test, you learn from the winners and you adapt the rest of your ads and then you test again. And if you don't get good results, guess what? You test some more. Oh, by the way, that bonus tip that I promised you. Forget everything I've said so far. Within reason. Sometimes going totally against the grain is the best way to get results with PPC. One of the highest click-through rate ads I've ever run used an image that had absolutely nothing to do with the product. It was a pure grabber. One of the best search ads I've ever run started with, "Don't buy this product until you've seen this." Sometimes the key to winning in your space is to take inspiration from something completely different. Maybe you're an e-commerce business and you take inspiration from a B2B service company. Or maybe you're a software company and you take inspiration from a direct-to-consumer e-commerce business. Always remember, Duolingo exists. And they've gone viral on TikTok with this crazy owl doing all sorts of totally inappropriate, ludicrous things. If you'd have put this in a brief and tried to get board sign-off, not happening. No, still having nightmares about that owl. Search is evolving and so is pay-per-click. But this just means more opportunities for the marketers and brands that are able to adapt. Opportunities like getting clicks from AI-generated ads by being the website that's referenced or used to corroborate the statement. These things didn't exist even a year ago. But the thing that will never change is that as long as you're producing high-quality ads that resonate really well with your target customer, you will see success. And by the way, if you want to learn more about Google's search generative experience or the AI search results, check out this video. This is so important to the future of digital marketing, both for SEO and pay-per-click. Thanks for subscribing. Let us know what you think in the comments and see you next week.